Have you ever found yourself bundling up under a blanket when no one else seems to be cold? Maybe you've noticed that even during warm weather or in a heated room, your hands feel icy, your feet stay chilly, or you're constantly reaching for an extra sweater. It might feel like a harmless part of aging, but here's the truth. Being cold all the time isn't always just a part of getting older. It could be your body's quiet way of telling you something serious is going on. And that's why this message might be more important than you realize. Before we go any further, I want to gently ask, if you're new here or someone just shared this video with you, please take a moment to subscribe to the 60+ chapter. We're building a space where truth meets tenderness, where health meets hope, and where your journey is seen, heard, and honored. Let's grow this together. Now back to your body. Feeling cold frequently can seem like a small thing, but it can often be an early red flag for underlying health conditions. Things like thyroid issues, poor circulation, anemia, or even early signs of diabetes. The issue isn't just about feeling chilly, it's about what that chill might be covering up. Let's talk about the thyroid, for example. A small gland in your neck that plays a huge role in your metabolism. In older adults, especially women over 60, hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid, becomes more common. According to the American Thyroid Association, nearly 20 million Americans have some form of thyroid disease and many go undiagnosed. Symptoms include fatigue, dry skin, forgetfulness, weight gain, and yes, feeling cold all the time. Take Carol, 72, from Oregon. She always joked about being cold-blooded, wearing gloves in July and socks to bed even in summer. But one routine checkup led her doctor to test her thyroid levels. Turned out she had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, a common autoimmune form of hypothyroidism. With proper medication and care, not only did her body temperature improve, but her energy, focus, and mood did too. That's the power of listening to the small signs. Then there's anemia, a condition where your body lacks enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen. This is also very common in older adults. The CDC reports that up to 10% of people over 65 have anemia, and that number jumps in those over 75. Without enough oxygen circulating through your body, your extremities, like your fingers, toes, and even your nose, can feel constantly cold. Anemia can be caused by iron deficiency, chronic disease, or even internal bleeding. Sometimes people don't even know they're anemic until they start experiencing symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, or, you guessed it, feeling cold all the time. And don't forget about poor circulation, which becomes more common as we age, especially in people with diabetes, high blood pressure, or vascular conditions. If blood isn't flowing freely to your hands and feet, they won't feel warm, no matter how many layers you wear. According to a report from the National Institute on Aging, nearly 1 in 3 adults over 60 has some form of cardiovascular issue that affects circulation. That's not something to ignore. It's something to get ahead of. If you notice discoloration in your hands or feet, numbness, or if wounds heal slowly, it might not just be coldness. It might be your heart trying to tell you something. And for many, the feeling of always being cold can be linked to malnutrition or not eating enough of the right nutrients. As we age, our appetite often decreases, and it becomes easier to skip meals or choose foods that aren't nutrient-rich. But our bodies need fuel to generate heat. If you're not getting enough protein, iron, B12, or calories in general, your internal furnace can slow down. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that adults over 65 with poor nutrition were significantly more likely to report feeling cold and fatigued regularly. This isn't about weight or appearance. It's about your body having what it needs to function well. Finally, there are emotional and neurological connections to chronic coldness. Anxiety, depression, and loneliness, especially common in the older population, can manifest physically in the body. When we feel emotionally isolated or overwhelmed, our stress response activates and can divert blood flow away from the skin, making us feel colder. The Mayo Clinic has published studies showing that older adults dealing with long-term stress are more likely to report cold sensitivity, even when no physical cause is found. You see, the cold you feel might not just be about the temperature in the room. It might be about your thyroid, your heart, your blood, your diet, or even your emotional health. And in many cases, these are treatable, manageable, and improvable with the right help and attention. The key is to stop brushing it off. Stop assuming it's just normal for your age. Your body is still talking to you, just maybe in a quieter voice than it used to. But that doesn't mean it should be ignored. And that's why we're doing this series, because your well-being matters. Not just to your family, not just to your doctor, but to you. You deserve to feel comfortable in your body. You deserve to understand what's happening beneath the surface, and most of all, you deserve answers. So now that we've explored the real reasons behind why you might feel cold all the time, from thyroid issues to anemia, poor circulation, and even emotional health, it's time we shift toward answers. Because understanding is only half the journey. The real transformation begins when you take what you know and turn it into action. Gentle, thoughtful, meaningful action that supports your body, respects your limits, and restores your peace. At the 60+ chapter, we believe knowledge isn't just power, it's healing, and your healing matters. Let's begin by looking at your daily habits, starting with something simple but often overlooked: what you eat and drink. You might not think food has much to do with feeling cold, but in truth, your internal thermostat depends heavily on nutrition. Your body needs fuel to maintain a stable temperature, especially in colder seasons or drafty environments. If you're skipping meals, eating too little, or not getting enough protein and healthy fats, your body may start conserving energy by lowering your internal temperature. A 2021 study, published in the Journal of Geriatric Nutrition, found that seniors who consumed fewer than 1,500 calories per day were significantly more likely to experience chronic cold sensitivity, fatigue, and poor circulation. It's not about eating more. It's about eating smarter. Here's a tip. Try adding warm, nutrient-dense foods like oatmeal with nuts, roasted vegetables, soups rich in lentils or chicken, and warm herbal teas. Even drinking room temperature water instead of icy water can help maintain body heat. Don't underestimate the power of spices like cinnamon, turmeric, or ginger. They not only help with inflammation, but they also stimulate warmth. And don't forget iron-rich foods like spinach, beans, fortified cereals, or lean meats, especially if you've been diagnosed with or are at risk for anemia. Now let's talk about movement. You might think that staying still keeps you warm under a blanket, but the truth is, circulation thrives on movement. You don't need to run a marathon or lift heavy weights to see improvement. Simple, gentle movement, like walking around your home, doing light stretches, chair yoga, or using small hand weights, can do wonders. When your muscles move, they produce heat. And when your blood is flowing, your extremities, your fingers, toes, and skin stay warmer. In a clinical study by the Cleveland Clinic, seniors who walked 20 minutes a day showed improved circulation, better temperature regulation, and even fewer cold-related complaints during winter. And what about the environment around you? Believe it or not, your home could be working against you. Drafts from windows, cold floors, poor insulation. These things add up. It's not just about wearing more clothes. It's about insulating your space. Consider sealing windows with plastic film, using draft stoppers under doors, and wearing layered clothing that includes base layers made of wool or thermal material. Socks, fingerless gloves, and even heated blankets can all help. But only if you're also addressing what's happening inside your body too. Let's now take a step into the emotional space. We've touched on it, but it's time to say it clearly. Your mental and emotional state can deeply affect how your body feels. Seniors who report chronic loneliness, anxiety, or depression are far more likely to also experience physical symptoms, including feeling cold. According to a study published by the National Institute of Mental Health, older adults experiencing emotional distress are 30% more likely to report cold intolerance, fatigue, and body aches. Your mind and body are not separate. They are woven together. And when one is under stress, the other feels it. Take Ron, 74, from Pennsylvania. After losing his wife, he spent most days alone, sitting in his recliner, avoiding meals and barely moving. He always felt cold. But when he started attending a local senior center, joined a Bible study, and reconnected with his brother in Florida, things began to shift. He didn't just feel warmer physically, his spirit felt warmer too. Connection matters. Laughter matters. Having someone to talk to matters. Loneliness can feel like coldness from the inside out. This leads us to the importance of advocating for your own care. If you've been feeling cold for months or even years, don't accept it as just aging. Bring it up to your doctor. Be specific. Keep a journal of your symptoms. Are your hands and feet always cold? Is it worse at night? Do you feel tired more than usual? These clues help your doctor look beyond surface-level assumptions and dig into real causes. Ask about your thyroid levels, check your iron and B12, review your circulation and blood pressure history, and talk about your diet and emotional state. You have the right to full care, not just a nod and a blanket. You might be wondering, but what if all my labs come back normal and I still feel cold? That's a real possibility. And it's where lifestyle and holistic practices can make all the difference. Try incorporating warm baths, essential oils like eucalyptus or ginger, calming music, and even mindfulness techniques that focus on reconnecting to your body. So much of what we feel in our body is tied to what we've ignored. Slowing down, listening in, and caring for yourself gently might be the warmest medicine of all. And don't overlook the power of your social environment. Being around others, especially in emotionally safe and uplifting spaces, naturally raises your body's serotonin levels. That impacts blood flow, body temperature, and energy. Whether it's attending a local community group, watching a favorite movie with family, joining a senior wellness circle, or simply calling a friend every few days, you are not meant to go through the season alone. You are still here. You still matter. And you deserve warmth, in every sense of the word. So what can you do today? Start small. Add a little warmth to your meals. Take a gentle walk around your home. Wrap up in comfort, but also open up emotionally. Talk to your doctor. Track your symptoms. Connect with others. You have more power than you think. And when you start to take those small steps, the shift might surprise you. This journey isn't about ignoring the chill. It's about understanding it, respecting it, and finding healing through it. Let's take everything we've learned so far and bring it into the real, quiet moments of your day. The ones where the cold creeps in, not just through your hands and feet, but into your heart and thoughts. Because this final part of our journey isn't just about body heat, it's about life warmth. And the truth is, after 60, warmth looks different. It's not just in the temperature of a room. It's in how you wake up, how you are spoken to, what routines you set, what you choose to believe about your worth. It's in creating a daily rhythm that respects your limits, honors your emotions, and reignites a steady inner flame, no matter the season. Let's start with your mornings. For many seniors, waking up is one of the coldest, most uncomfortable parts of the day. The body is stiff, the room is cooler, and energy feels low. But a warm morning doesn't need to start with noise or speed. It begins with gentleness. Keep a warm robe or sweater next to your bed. Try stretching slowly before standing. Drink a glass of room temperature water first thing. Hydration helps circulation. Follow it with something nourishing, even if it's small. A warm drink, a few bites of fruit, or a bowl of oatmeal. And if you're a person of faith, like many in our community, start your morning with a quiet prayer or devotional reading. There's power in warming your spirit before you even step into the day. Next comes movement. Even 10 minutes of intentional motion can increase your body's internal temperature, elevate your mood, and help regulate blood flow. Don't worry about perfection or pace. This isn't about performance. It's about permission. Permission to care for your body without shame. Stretching, a light walk, seated yoga, or gentle tai chi. All of these have been shown in studies by Harvard Health to increase circulation, lower blood pressure, and reduce the frequency of cold episodes in older adults. Add soft music. Open a window for sunlight, and make movement a time of peace rather than pressure. Let's talk about layered living, not just with clothes, but with intention. Think of your day as layers of warmth. What you wear, what you eat, who you talk to, what you think about. Every choice you make can either warm you or wear you down. Choose warm layers that comfort your skin. Choose foods that feed your cells. Choose thoughts that speak kindly to your heart. Layer your day with small joys. A phone call with a friend, a chapter of a book, sitting near the sunniest window in your home. These are not luxuries. These are lifelines. And when the sun begins to set, your evenings matter too. Coldness often returns stronger in the evening, especially when your body and spirit feel tired. That's why establishing a sleep routine that nurtures warmth is essential. Take a warm bath or shower to raise your core temperature. Use thick socks if your feet get cold. Keep your bedroom draft-free. Turn off screens an hour before bed and instead turn to a calming activity: reading, prayer, journaling. A study by the Sleep Foundation found that older adults who developed a bedtime routine that included warmth and winding down were more likely to sleep deeply, experience fewer cold symptoms, and wake up with better energy. But perhaps the most profound warmth comes from within: emotional warmth, purpose, the decision to wake up and choose hope again. So many in their 60s, 70s, and 80s have been told their best years are behind them. But here's what I believe. Your story is still unfolding. Every day you're here is a page being written. And if the last chapters were filled with cold, silence, or loneliness, that doesn't mean the rest will be. You get to turn the page. You get to invite light back in. Take Martha, 77, from Illinois. After her husband passed, her home felt cold, physically and emotionally. Her kids had moved far away. She spent days in silence, watching the same shows, eating alone, barely speaking to anyone. Then one morning she watched a video on senior wellness and heard the line, "Your healing begins when you believe you're still worth the warmth." It stirred something in her. She joined a local senior walking group. She changed her diet. She talked to her doctor about thyroid testing, and slowly, layer by layer, she began to feel like herself again. Not who she was before, but someone still whole, someone still here. And that's the message I want to leave with you today. You are still here. You are still worthy of comfort, of clarity, of feeling good in your own body. The cold you feel doesn't define you. It informs you. It reminds you to pay attention, to ask questions, to take care of yourself. And yes, sometimes it reveals a deeper issue, but one that can be treated, managed, healed. If you've listened this far, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not alone. Not in your symptoms. Not in your questions. Not in your healing. That's what we're building here at the 60+ chapter, a place where we talk honestly, care deeply, and age not in fear, but in wisdom. Your body may feel cold, but your soul is still afire, and it's not too late to protect that flame. So what do you do next? You pause. You listen to your body. You ask for help if something feels off. You talk to your doctor. You eat well. You move kindly. You rest deeply. You connect with people who make you feel seen, and you choose warmth every chance you get. And if this message helped you feel seen, informed, or inspired, I invite you from the heart. Please share this video with someone you care about, a sibling, a friend, a neighbor, someone who's always cold, always quiet, maybe struggling silently. And if you haven't yet, take a moment to subscribe to the 60+ chapter. This isn't just a channel, it's a community, a growing circle of people just like you, walking through life's later chapters with grace, courage, and truth. Let's walk it together.